A $3 bag of sugar can do what you have been paying a salon thousands of dollars to do worse. That is not a slogan. That is arithmetic. Add up every dollar you have handed over for waxing, the appointments, the tips, the touch-ups 2 weeks later when it all grew back anyway, and for most women it climbs into the thousands year after year. And the women with smooth arms and legs and no salon bill at all are not richer than you. They just know a trick that predates waxing by 1,000 years, made from something sitting in your kitchen right now for almost nothing. It is called sugaring, and the wax industry, the salons, the shelves of stinking hair removal creams would very much prefer you never learned it, because the day you do is the day you stop paying them forever. Think about it. Wax grips your skin as much as your hair and rips it raw. The creams are a chemical soup that grows back in 5 days and leaves you itching and breaking out in little bumps. The razor is stubble and darkness by the second day. Every one of them runs the same quiet business model. Get the hair off badly so it comes back fast, so you come back and pay again. Sugaring breaks that model completely, and it has been breaking it since ancient Egypt. Here is the whole plan. First, I show you exactly how to make it and use it, start to finish. Then I fix the one thing waxing and creams leave behind that nobody talks about, the dark, patchy skin that makes you hide your underarms. And at the very end, one more kitchen trick made from a single onion, and the honest truth about what it really does. Stay with me for all three, because the ingredient list is almost insultingly short. Sugar, lemon, water. That is it. For a method that pulls the hair clean from the root exactly like a salon wax at a fraction of the cost. Let me walk you through making it, because the magic is entirely in getting the paste right, and it is easier than you think. Take about 1 cup of ordinary white sugar and put it in a pan. Add roughly 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of water. That is the whole recipe, and you can scale it up or down, but keep that ratio in your head. Lots of sugar, a small equal splash of lemon and water. Put it on a low to medium heat and stir it, and keep stirring, because this is the one part you cannot walk away from. At first, it will look grainy and pale and unpromising. Then it will melt and bubble, and slowly as you stir, it will turn from clear to pale gold to a rich, warm amber, the exact color of honey. Keep the heat gentle and your spoon moving the whole time, because sugar goes from perfect to burnt in seconds if you let it sit still or run the flame too high. If you see it darkening past amber toward brown, you have gone a touch too far, so pull it off the heat sooner rather than later, because a paste that is slightly underdone is easy to fix, and a burnt one you simply start again. That amber color is your signal. The moment it looks like golden syrup, you are almost there. Now here is how you know it is truly ready. The little test the old women swore by. Drop a tiny bit of the hot paste into a cup of cold water. If it dissolves and vanishes, it is not ready. Keep cooking. If it forms into a soft, pliable little ball, you can pick up and roll between your fingers. It is done. Take it off the heat immediately, because from here, it goes from perfect to burnt very fast. And now patience, because this next part matters, and skipping it is how people hurt themselves. That paste is molten sugar, and molten sugar is dangerously hot. You do not touch it, you do not use it, until it has cooled down to warm. Let it sit and cool until it is just comfortably, pleasantly warm to the touch, the temperature of a warm bath, never more. Test a small dab on the inside of your wrist first, the way you would test milk, and only when it feels gently warm and never hot do you begin. Rushing this step is the only real danger in the entire method, so do not rush it. Cool, warm, comfortable, then you begin. I cannot say this part strongly enough, because it is the only way anyone ever gets hurt doing this, and it is completely avoidable. Sugar holds heat far longer than it looks like it should, so a paste that seems fine on top can still be scalding underneath. Give it the full few minutes it needs. Stir it as it cools so the heat spreads out evenly. And always, always test it on your wrist first. Patience here costs you 2 minutes. Impatience here costs you a burn. Choose the 2 minutes. While it cools, prepare your skin, because a little prep is the difference between a clean pull and a frustrating mess. Your skin needs to be clean, completely dry, and free of any oils or lotions, because sugar paste grips hair beautifully, but oil and moisture ruin that grip. Here is the professional secret almost nobody tells you. Dust the area lightly with a little cornstarch or plain talcum powder first. That thin layer of powder lifts the hairs up, and more importantly, it makes the paste cling to the hair instead of the skin, which is the entire reason sugaring hurts so much less than waxing. Powdered, clean, dry skin. That is your canvas. And make sure the hair has a little length to grip, roughly the length of a grain of rice, because paste needs something to hold on to. If you have been shaving, let it grow out for a few days first. Too short and the paste has nothing to grab. Give it that little bit of length and the grip becomes effortless. Now the technique, and this is where sugaring is genuinely different from wax, so unlearn what you know. With wax, you spread it in the direction the hair grows and rip against it. With sugar, you do the exact opposite, and this is why it is gentler and why it lifts the hair cleanly from the root without snapping it. Take a portion of your warm paste and knead it in your fingers for a moment until it turns from clear to a lighter, pearly, opaque color, which means you have worked it to the perfect stretchy consistency. Then press it onto your skin and spread it against the direction of hair growth, pushing it on firmly. Let it sit and grip for a second. Then holding your skin taut and tight with your other hand, flick the paste off fast, low, and close to the skin. In the same direction the hair grows. Read that again, because it is the whole art. You apply against the growth, you flick off with the growth, fast and low. Wax does it backwards. That single difference is why sugar reaches down and slides the hair out from the root instead of snapping it off at the surface, which means less pain, less breakage, fewer of those angry ingrown hairs, and a result that lasts and lasts. If the ball and flick method feels fiddly at first, there is an easier way in while you learn. Spread a thin layer of the warm paste on, with a spatula, against the growth. Press a strip of clean cotton or old cloth over it, smooth it down firmly, and then pull the strip off fast in the direction the hair grows, holding the skin taut. Same principle, same beautiful result, just with training wheels. Either way works. Use whichever your hands find easier, and you will find your rhythm within one session. Now let me talk about what actually happens over time, because I am not here to sell you a fairy tale. I am here to tell you the truth, and the truth is better than the fairy tale anyway. Every single time you remove a hair from the root like this, you are pulling out the entire hair, bulb and all, and the follicle has to start over from nothing. Do that again and again, session after session, month after month, and something genuinely lovely happens. The hair that grows back comes in finer, softer, and more sparse than the coarse stubble a razor leaves behind, because you are weakening and tiring those follicles a little more each time. Your regrowth gets slower, it gets thinner. The dense, dark coarseness softens into something fine and light. That is not a wild promise, that is simply what root removal does over time. And it is exactly why your grandmother's generation, who sugared and threaded instead of shaving, had such soft, fine, slow-growing hair. Shaving trains hair to come back thick and stubbly. Root removal, patiently repeated, does the opposite. Give it time, is all I ask. The first session removes the hair. It is the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, done consistently, where you start to notice the regrowth coming in softer and thinner and taking longer to appear, and where the whole thing quietly pays you back for your patience. This is a habit, not a single miracle, and habits are exactly what the salons were betting you would never build for yourself. But you will, because it takes 10 minutes and costs you nothing, and there is no appointment to book and no one to pay. And you can store this. Unlike the flimsy pastes people cook up and have to throw away, a proper sugar paste keeps beautifully in a clean glass jar for weeks. When you want it again, you simply warm it gently in short bursts, stirring until it is soft and workable, and once more comfortably warm and never hot, and it is ready to go. One batch, made in 10 minutes, can last you through several sessions across your whole body, which brings me to the number that should genuinely make you angry. Do the math with me. A single bag of sugar and a couple of lemons costs you almost nothing, and from that you get batch after batch after batch, enough to keep your arms, your legs, your underarms smooth for months. Now compare that to what a salon charges for a single full body wax and multiply it across a year of appointments and across all the years you have already paid and all the years ahead. It is thousands of dollars handed over for a worse result that hurt more and grew back faster, when the better method was sitting in your sugar jar the entire time. That gap between almost nothing and thousands is not an accident. It is the whole reason nobody at the salon was ever going to tell you this. And it works whether your hair is fine or coarse, light or dark, whether you are 20 or 60, because it is not doing anything clever or delicate. It is simply gripping the hair and lifting it out, the oldest, most reliable thing there is. Now, I promised you I would not let you win only half the battle, so let us talk about the thing that truly haunts women about hair removal, the part the ads never show, the darkness. You remove the hair, and the skin left behind is dark, patchy, discolored, especially in the underarms, and suddenly the smooth skin you worked for is something you still want to hide. You stop wearing the sleeveless dress anyway. So let me tell you where that darkness actually comes from, because once you understand it, you can genuinely fix it. That discoloration is not just from the hair. It comes from irritation, from friction, from harsh methods that inflame the skin, and above all from ingrown hairs and the constant trauma of razors and chemical creams. Sugaring is already a massive step toward fixing it, because it is one of the gentlest methods there is, pulling cleanly from the root with the growth, so it causes far less of the irritation and far fewer of the ingrowns that darkened your skin in the first place. Simply switching to it starts the healing, but here is how you actively erase the darkness that is already there. Understand that most of that darkness is not a stain you are stuck with. It is inflammation and buildup and trapped hairs. And every one of those things can be reversed with a little consistency and the gentlest of care. First, gently exfoliate. 2 or 3 days after your sugaring and regularly between sessions, softly buff the skin. A simple homemade scrub of sugar and a little oil, or a soft washcloth in the shower, sloughs away the dead, built-up, darkened surface cells and, crucially, frees the trapped ingrown hairs that cause so much of the darkness and bumpiness. This alone, done consistently, visibly brightens the skin over a few weeks. Second, soothe and calm. Straight after removal, when the skin is a little sensitive, a layer of pure aloe vera gel calms any redness, reduces inflammation, and starts to heal the very irritation that leads to discoloration. Cool, soothed, uninflamed skin simply does not darken the way angry, irritated skin does. Third, protect and moisturize. Keep the skin hydrated daily and keep freshly treated skin out of harsh sun for a day or two, because sun on freshly exfoliated skin is one of the fastest ways to deepen exactly the darkness you are trying to erase. Do those 3 things, exfoliate, soothe, protect, alongside your sugaring, and you are not just removing hair, you are actively lightening, smoothing, and healing the skin at the same time, undoing years of damage from the harsh methods you finally left behind. The underarms you were hiding start to even out, the dark patches soften, and for the first time, the smooth skin and the clear, even tone arrive together, which is the whole thing you actually wanted all along. Now, before we tie it all together, I have that one last trick for you, and it is a completely different animal from the sugaring, so hear me out, because I want you to understand exactly what it does, and just as importantly, what it does not. This one starts with an onion. Yes, an onion. Grate it or blitz it in a blender, and then strain it through a piece of thin cloth, cotton, or georgette, squeezing out the pure juice and leaving every last bit of pulp behind, because it is the smooth juice you want, never the bits. To that juice you add rice powder, which thickens it and, as a lovely bonus, is one of the great old brightening ingredients that has kept skin fair and even for generations. A little plain talcum powder goes in as well, so the paste sits smooth and matte on the skin instead of greasy. And finally, a pinch of Eno, which foams the whole thing up light and fluffy in seconds. And that foaminess is the entire secret, because it is what lets the paste dry down into a thin, liftable film on your skin. Mix it into a soft, fluffy paste and let it rest for 2 or 3 minutes so it settles and comes alive. Now here is the honest truth about what happens next, because I will never hand you a fairy tale. You spread a good thickish layer over the area you are treating and you leave it to dry, roughly 7 or 8 minutes, up to 10 if your paste is thick. As it dries, it forms a film that clings onto the fine surface hairs, and when you rub and peel that dried layer away with your fingers, the friction lifts off some of those finest, loosest hairs along with it, exactly the way a peel-off mask lifts away soft fuzz. That is what this trick genuinely is. A gentle, mechanical peel and friction lift of fine surface hair, wrapped inside a brightening treatment from the rice. It is not dissolving anything, it is not reaching down to the root, and it will not clear the coarse, stubborn hair the way your sugaring does. Anyone who swears an onion melts your follicles is lying to you, and you are far too smart for that now. So treat this one for exactly what it is, and for exactly what it is genuinely lovely. A soft, brightening, fine hair-lifting ritual to keep between your sugaring sessions, made from a single onion and a spoon of rice powder. Make it fresh every time, because once it sits and is stored, it loses its life and its lift and stops working the way it should. Do a small patch first so you learn how your own skin takes to it, since it is the rubbing away that does the work, not leaving it caked on and forgotten, and keep it to the body you are treating. Used that way, it is a penny's cheap, brightening treat that happens to lift a little of the fine stuff too, and it costs you exactly one onion. No $30 peel, no salon facial, just an onion and a spoon of rice from your own kitchen, doing quiet, honest work that the labels on the shelf charge you a small fortune to pretend to do. Let me put the whole method back together for you in one clean picture, so you can start tonight. You melt sugar, lemon, and water into a warm amber paste. You cool it until it is comfortably warm, never hot. You powder your clean, dry skin so the paste grips the hair and not you. You apply it against the growth and flick it off with the growth, fast and low, holding the skin taut. You store the leftover in a jar and warm it gently next time. You pair it with gentle exfoliation, soothing aloe, and daily moisture to erase the darkness the old methods left behind. And between sessions, you treat yourself to the onion and rice paste, dried on and rubbed away, for a little brightening and a lift of the finest hairs. That is it. That is the entire 1,000-year-old secret, and there is nothing in it you cannot do at your own kitchen counter for the price of a bag of sugar. So here is the truth I want you to sit with, because it is bigger than hair. You were never the problem. You were not too hairy, or too high maintenance, or destined to pay a salon forever. You were simply sold the expensive, painful, damaging version of something women have done cheaply and gently in their own homes for 1,000 years, and then charged again every time it grew back. The women you envied for their smooth, even, effortless skin were not luckier than you, and they were not richer than you. Most of them just never fell for the wax in the first place, and now neither will you. Picture yourself 6 months from now, a jar of amber paste in your cupboard, arms and legs smooth, skin even and clear, the salon a thing of the past, and every dollar you used to hand over still sitting in your own pocket. That woman is not a fantasy. That woman is you, one batch of sugar from now. So do me one small favor and tell me in the comments where you are watching from and which part of your body you are going to try this on first, because I read every single one and I want to know if this reached you. And if you are the kind of woman who would rather make the thing than keep buying the thing, who would rather keep her thousands than hand them to a salon for a worse result, then you already know where you belong. So subscribe to the Beauty Armor and stay close, because you are exactly who I make this for. Next time, I am going to show you the 2-ingredient overnight paste that fades the old stubborn dark spots and marks on the body. The ones you were told only an expensive treatment could touch, using 2 things already sitting in your kitchen, and once you see it, you will never look at those whitening creams the same way again. I will see you there.